the more prestigious place to be. I said, well, can't I go in here for a pint? She's like, no. I'm like, oh, no. So I was gutted. So I've kind of given away who we met in the stairwell of the West Stand, Martin Chivers. And take it away, Sam, because I was a mess.
Well,
his knees were getting trembly.
Well, we're not. Well, and also
they went well trembly.
Oh, yeah. Well, because we were in such a very confined space there, because we were actually really in between two doors,
right.
And there were stairs, and we were. I mean, there was probably about 7, 8 feet, not even that much, maybe 5 or 6 feet of space. And I think he was coming down the stairs. I think
he was.
We were going through the other door, and he just basically ran into you, and you're like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, you're my life." I mean, you can see it in your face.
No, I didn't hug him like Ricky.
I immediately grabbed my phone, and I said, here it goes. And I didn't say a word. And I never, remember Simon, I never made any and plus I get nervous with these guys anyway, but I knew what he meant to you. And I'm like, my job here is to keep my mouth shut and to snap away. And Martin had this, like, because he looked at Ken and we looked at some people in our group.
Yeah.
And I don't think he heard American accents. He probably thought they don't have any clue who I am. And Simon was just like, knees trembling. He was like, oh my
babbling
God.
Like a little girl.
Just when you see your idol or one of your idols, and you try and validate the idolatry in like the 5 seconds that you have while he's with you. But he ate it up.
Yeah, he did.
He ate it up. He didn't want to leave.
He's a big guy.
No, he didn't. We had to go. We were holding up the tour.
He didn't want to leave. And I'm just snapping away. I mean, we got loads of pictures, and he is. There's something about him. Like, some guys are kind of regal in stature, and he had this bronze tan and just good-looking guy. And
great smile.
He's as tall as you are.
Yeah.
And he loved the fact that somebody wanted to sort of, regale in his glory and be with him and take photos, and I was just, I was a spectator.
Well, and I told him, I said, you were my first idol at Spurs.
And I remember you said that exactly.
And he couldn't believe it. He said, "There's actually people here old enough to remember me." And
said, yeah.
Well, I take that as a backhanded compliment, but that really made my day. It was kind of icing on the cake for me, and it's funny enough because I brought my my big digital camera, which I didn't have any way of uploading any of those photos until today. And for anyone out there, if you go to me on Facebook or the big page on Facebook, there is a ton of them. Most of them are on my page, and I put a bunch of them on our closed members page. There's about 90 pictures on there, but I did get your mobile picture that you took, Sam, and we're both looking at my camera that Lewis took. But that photo got so many likes when it went up on, I think, Saturday night. And you could see my eyes that are kind of a little glassy.
They were.
Because it was fantastic to meet Chivers. And, for those folks who have the luxury of going to the lane on a consistent basis, they probably bump into these folks quite often, particularly the ambassadors, because they're there every match day. And it would have been nice to meet Cliff Jones as well, and having gone through the Cliff Jones Lounge. But to meet Chivers, I was totally made up for the day. And I'm walking through the tunnel, and I should be helping you guys and showing you, the Hall of Fame, which we walked past. And all I'm saying is, I've met Chivers, and everyone's looking at me like I'm a complete freaking weirdo. And I'm just forgetting about everything.
No, you were.
As we progress through to pitch side. So
I've always known you as this calm guy who never seems to phase you, and that
I was phased.
That fucked you up. I was just like, you couldn't believe it.
Took me out of the knees.
I remember playing this day. You put your hand to your forehead. It's like I just met Martin Chivers.
Yeah.
So then we open the door, and then we go through, and then we're going towards. Then we're in the tunnel.
Yeah.
Right. And then
and we walk out, and we got about halfway down the wall. You guys kind of went ahead, and Chris and I were kind of lagging back. We were looking at some of the pictures on the wall and things that you don't normally see. And he and I both froze halfway through the wall. The angled walls that lead to the famous Tottenham Hotspur blue carpet that leads right to pitch side. And he kind of looked at me, and I looked at him, and I put my hand on the wall so I could brace myself because I was getting wobbly. And I turned and looked at him, and he had his fist up to his mouth, and tears were coming out of his eyes. It was a very profound moment for us. I had been on the tour earlier, and I saw the pitch from up top. We actually got to go down pitch side a little bit, but there's something about walking down the tunnel, and seeing it from that perspective that just, it got me a little bit more. I already had chills and hair was standing up on the back of my neck and all that good stuff, but it really hit home when I turned and I looked at Chris, and he's just, he's gobsmacked by what he's looking at, and his wife had to come over and give him a hug.
He was completely choked. As soon as I saw his eyes welling up and he was kind of biting down on his fist, it almost made me choke up because I'm seeing it through his eyes. And I videoed you earlier in the day, and we forgot to mention that, which that was the key moment, you seeing the pitch for the first time, and you did look kind of pale like a ghost, and I'll put the video up for more people to see that.
It's a lot to take in.
It is. But
is.
To see Chris, I mean, he was almost in tears to walk in there.
Well, you have your own emotions, right? And you have the beauty of it all, and then when you see how it affects other people, it just amplifies everything, and it's incredibly emotional, wasn't it? I mean,
when Daniel was walking us around, it's my first time seeing it, and it hit me, and I turned to him I turned to Simon and I said, I can't believe they're going to tear it down. Because it saddens you. I mean, people have been going for decades, probably maybe feel the same way, or maybe they don't. But when you see it for the first time, and we walk out there, and then the next thing you know, we're sitting in the, coaches' chairs and players' chairs and all that, and we're taking group photos and pitch side stuff, and
you know what it is?
It's just amazing.
It is such an incredibly intimate place. I mean, it is a small ground, relatively speaking, but of the small grounds, around the league, the sub 40,000 grounds, I mean, it's actually, I mean, it's bigger than Stamford Bridge, but it's far, far more intimate, and you're so close, and I don't know, so much feel to the place. It's indescribable, and you don't really get to really soak it in until you're there, and when you're there, it just kind of hits you like a ton of bricks. It really does. Yeah. It did for me, at least. So. And so then, at what point did we go in the locker room, and then we saw some other...
Yeah.
One player in particular we saw.
Well, yeah. So we go... Not a lot of people see this unless they're there on match day.
Can we talk about this? Are we allowed to talk about this?
Yeah.
All right,
so we're out there with supporters groups. I think there was a chap from Northern Ireland took a photo of us. So you'll see it amongst the photos we took. It's called the Hotspur Groups. It's the three of us, and it's an awesome photo of us pitch side with the Paxton in the background.
Oh, I haven't seen it. Oh, right, I remember that now.
Yeah. You got to go through and look at the photos, mate.
All right.
So we go in the dressing room, and of course it's the new kit. It's all laid out, and you get the three green goalkeeper shirts. I think there were 19 players listed, but of course we know there's only 18 names of the team.
Right.
17. Sorry, 6 subs. 6 or 7 subs. I've forgotten. 7, isn't it? And all the wash bags are out, all the boots, everything, and it's a different experience just to seeing the shirts on the hanger on match day. And the last picture I take, we have a few photos, and the last picture I take is Brad Friedel's shirt. We walk out the dressing room, who do we...
Which was next to whose shirt?
Coco?
No, it was next to Yedlin's. His.
Oh,
It's really cool. Sorry, I didn't interrupt it.
Well, I'm just remembering, I think Ken, the Lamela shirt was a bit ruffled because Ken tried to steal it.
Yeah. Beat me off with a stick.
So we leave the dressing room. Again, Jonathan Waite's taking photos of the group of us, which was very nice, and what a lovely fellow showing us around. And you know when people enjoy their job. It was Gary Belsham for me last March, and now Jonathan Waite this time. And as we walk out, what are the odds? He's strolling down the tunnel with his cappuccino as soon as the door opens, I see him, and I point at him, and he looks at me and is like, yeah, I know you son of a bitch. It is Brad Friedel.
Yep.
And it's like a scene from Wayne's World. We almost fell to our knees and went, we're not worthy. We're not worthy.
And it was
Take
so
it away,
funny.
Sam.
Well, no. So I said, "Can you forgive us?" And in fairness to Ken, because well, no, we're bad. We're one. Of, and he didn't. Say, he's an intimidating guy. I mean, he is. He is a man of little words, and he whatever he says he means, and you know it. And he just has a stature about him. And he goes, "I've yet to tell my wife." And then he says, "Those are 2 hours of my life I will never be able to get back."
Yeah.
And I wanted to go, well, can we have you on next week? You know, but the one thing I really noticed, it was kind of funny. When I saw him at the Derby, he had the same white coffee cup in his hand. That was pretty funny. And then the one thing that I really noticed, because we were side by side with him. He's so like in shape, remarkably fit, skinny for a 40. He's my age. He's a little bit younger than me. I just turned 44. I mean, it's incredible. And yeah, we all took pictures. In fact, I'm Simon. I'm on your Facebook right now. I'm seeing these pictures for the first time. He is an amazing guy, and he was taking the piss out of us, and I can't bear to tell her, blah blah blah, and yeah, great guy. So amazing to think that we were there in his very last professional match. Is just incredible.
That was a really cool moment too. I mean, so you meet him, and then he's like, "Hey, you guys, I understand you guys are over here. I understand it's some of your first times to be here. Enjoy your day." And we looked at him and go, "Oh no, this is your day." I mean, the halftime thing was really cool that the club did.
Yeah, certainly it was. So, all right, well, we have gone on for about an hour and a half. But so we talk about our respective match experiences.
Well, I think after this, we head out and it's off to the Brickies, right?
Yeah.
So we're done with this. Is all between 11:30 and 12:30. All of that was in an hour, and I know we probably just took an hour explaining it.
And there's barely a cloud in the sky that day.
Yeah, it was a good day.
It was a gorgeous day.
Off to the Brickies, a bit of a sing-song. There's probably more singing in the Bricklayers than there was during the game.
That's a given.
The atmosphere was flat.
Yeah, it was really flat. I was a little bit
disappointed. It's the end of the season, nothing to play for.
I think because we were down in the corner of the East End, close to the Paxton, and they tried singing "Win the Spurs," and it stopped. No one seemed interested in singing it. It was disappointing. Anyway, back to the Brickies. Who did we meet in the Brickies? We met Ollie.
Ollie and his entourage of people that were in there.
The amazing Vasconi and his equally amazing son Andy, who came down from Birmingham. I haven't waxed poetically enough on them. They were amazing. He's an amazing guy, and they're just it was really cool, like father and son traveling down. I just thought that was so great. And Vass is I don't know how old Vass is, but I mean. Vass, like you, Simon, has an
I think he said he was the same age as me, so he's like 31.
He's got a very deep appreciation for our history. I mean, he was living in North London. He was guiding me through, like, being, young in the like getting tickets for the '81 final, the tour, or not the tour, but the celebration after they won the cup, and just. Oh man, he knows so much. It's great, a great guy. So I was with Vass. But sorry, you were saying. I apologize. I was rambling there.
Who was saying? Me?
Oh, I was just yeah. So who all was there? So Vass was there. Ollie was there.
I was there for a little bit, then I left.
Yeah.
I went down to the horse and carriage.
Yeah, you. By that time,
you scarpered off, mate.
Yeah.
I think you had an ulterior motive, and it wasn't Ollie.
Chris was there. His lovely wife was there, and that was a beautiful day. And so they have this back patio in the Brickies, which I can't imagine why on a day like that you wouldn't have wanted to be anywhere other than that. It was great, and there was some singing, but it was a bit tired, and like there was a section. in the very back that was singing, and as you said at the very beginning, Kenny, they were trying to, they were trying to do fucking shit, that bit, and that got tired pretty